Shalom, everybody. Today's study is going to be focusing on forecasting Yahweh's calendar. Now, I have previously forecast the 8th, 9th, and the 10th month. Many of you have already downloaded those and printed them out. But today, we want to take a step in a direction that will hopefully help you understand how to make the forecast yourself and make your own calendar. So we're going from A through Z today with that. And to first of all do that, we need to know the scriptures behind it. Yahweh taught Adam and Hawa how to number their days. And since then, from the very beginning, Yahweh's time has been set forth, and his way to show us the first day of the month and even the last day of the month. We will try and show you that today through the scriptures and with a blank calendar and with Stellarium. There are other programs that I also use, but those are more technical programs specifically for determining the amount of time that the moon is full, etc., etc. And there's a lot that I can't explain today, but we will explain in studies to come. But today we're going to go over the very basics of it, and that begins with the scriptures. So let's go into the scriptures. I believe you'll be able to see this. You may have to opt for full screen mode if you can't see this well enough. Full screen mode would certainly be what I would recommend for you to watch this video in. Let's go up to the scriptures, but first, before we begin reading, let's give this study to Abba Father Yahweh. Abba, we're so thankful to you for the opportunity to be here today and to share with others your truth and your word, your wisdom. We ask, Father, for your understanding on each of us. Father, turn our hearts toward your word and toward your truth, that we might see your true light, that we might understand what you want us to understand about the sun and the moon and the stars that you created to help us number our days. We're thankful to you for the opportunity, and we pray your many barakot on all who are watching and all who will watch in the future. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, and the name above all names, Yahweh, Yahweh our Elohim, Yahweh Echad. Amen. Okay, we'll get right into it. Tehillah, chapter 8, verse 3 says, "When I behold your Shamaim, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which you have set in place. What is man that you are mindful of him, or the Son of Man that you care for him?" It's amazing what he created. And we have to remember, in the beginning, when he created the heavens, when he created the earth, he didn't create the lights until the fourth day. And you might ask, well, how was there a day if there wasn't a sun? Well, Yahweh also is light. And he already knew where the sun would be and how the earth would be turned. He already knew where the stars were before he ever made them. And he knew for an eternity before creation what he was going to do. So that being said, let's continue on with our study. In Bereshith, Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, 15, and 16, we read, "And Elohim said, Let there be lights in the expanse of the sky to distinguish between day and the night, and let them be signs to mark the seasons," which includes the Moedim and the Sabbaths, "the days and years, and let them serve as lights in the expanse of the sky to shine upon the earth." And it was so. Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night, the moon. And he made the stars as well. And the moon rules with the stars all night. And when it is full, it forecasts the start of Yahweh's new month. Tehillah 90, verse 12 says, "Teach us to number our days, and let us bring the heart to wisdom." The only way we can serve Yahweh truly is by knowing his way of numbering days. In the book of Enoch, that's Hanok 78, verses 12 and 13, it says, "And on the first day it is called the new moon, for on that daylight rises on it, and its light becomes full exactly on the day as the sun goes down in the west. It rises from the east for the night, and the moon shines for the whole night until the sun rises opposite it, and the moon is seen opposite the sun." So there are two greetings. There's the greeting of the evening before, when the moon rises and the sun sets. Then there is a greeting the following morning, after the moon having been full the day before, the new moon day. And in that morning, when the sun rises and the moon is setting, they will both be seen in the east and the west, opposite each other. Now, Hanok, which is Enoch, chapter 79, verse 4 and 5 says, "And the waning, which is the reducing of the light of the moon, which occurs in the first gate at its proper time until 127 days are complete, or by weeks, 25 weeks and 2 days, and how it falls behind the sun, according to the law of the stars, by exactly 5 days and 1 period of time, when it has completely completed the pathway you have seen." This is regarding a special amount of time for the Moedim, and we will explain this verse in more detail later when we are doing this. But these are the basic scriptures that we're going to be using today, and more especially the two chapters in Hanok, chapter 78 and chapter 79. Well, not so much chapter 79. I just wanted to add that in there because it's something important that would be coming up in another study. And then chapter 78 shows us exactly how to view the sun and the moon the day before and the day of New Moon Day. Okay, now, first things first, we want to establish when the new moon day begins. And if we have forecast a month previously, which this is Elohim's month number 10 in 2020 and 2021, because it goes from 2020 through 2021, we forecast the day of the new moon day, the 11th month. We forecast that day to fall on the pagan day, Gregorian calendar, of 1/29/2021. So what we will do in order to establish this and to prove it once again before we start the new month and the 11th month of Yahweh is we will go back to Stellarium, and we will move it back to maybe 3 or 4 days before the new moon day, so we can prove by the scriptures and prove by looking at the moon what is the true day of New Moon Day for the 11th month. So let's go to Stellarium. And note, this is on a Friday. It's on a Friday that the new moon day begins, and it is on the 29th of the first month of the Gregorian calendar in 2021. Okay, I'll reduce this so I can open Stellarium. Okay, here we are in Stellarium. Now, I've already got it set up on the first month of the pagan Gregorian calendar and the 24th day of the month of the year 2021. You have to pay specific attention to the dates because it's very important that we get the right dates. Okay. We're going to go over to the moon and highlight the moon. It's highlighted already. And it is 80%, 80.5% illuminated. So we will go up by days at first until we get closer to the full moon. So let's go to the 25th, 26th, we're at 93.4%, 27th, 97.6%, 28th, 99.7%. So now we're getting close. And look at this, it's the waxing gibbous, which means it's building, waxing. And it becomes full, and then it goes to the waning gibbous. So we're at 99.7%. So let's start going by hours. And this is the end of the night. Okay. We are on the 28th, and we are still on the waxing gibbous. 99.9%. So during the day, today, we should see the full moon. And there we have full moon. Okay, so full moon does occur on the 28th. Meaning that the sun should meet the moon. And we'll go back down by hours, by minutes. Okay, and as you can see, here's the sun, here's the moon, and they do greet. Okay, they do greet on the evening sunset, on the evening of the 28th, indicating that the 29th would be the first day of Yahweh's month, new moon day. So let's go ahead and forward on in time. We'll go by hours, go through the night, and the moon is full, and now it's waning. So it's already reached full, and it's going down on the night of the 28th. Now it becomes the 29th. Morning is arriving. And let's see if the sun meets the moon. And obviously, there are times when the sun meets the moon, but you have to get it from dawn or dusk because the sun reaches beyond its actual size because of how bright it is. So we call it dawn or dusk because it gets dark outside, but it's not too dark to be able to see, and that's during the dusk. Then when the sun has completely gone down, it becomes dark. And then also with rising, you notice it gets light outside and you still can't see the sun because the sun has not yet come up over the horizon. But that still indicates a greeting of the moon if the moon is on the opposite horizon and the moon has not set. So it's a technicality. But here it's obvious that the sun and the moon are greeting each other above the horizon, proving that on the first month and the 29th day of the pagan year of 2021 in the Gregorian calendar. It is the first day of Yahweh's 11th month. Now that we know that, we can close Stellarium and we can go back. We can close the calendar for this one. We're going to use Friday, the first day of the new month, and it's the pagan date of 1/29/2021. All right, let's go to our blank calendar. Okay. Okay, and I've already got it here on Friday. We just start filling out the calendar. Come on. We don't want to spell it out because it would take up 2 lines. We want that to be bold. I prefer it to be bold. There we go. And I always highlight those months. Okay. I highlight the new moon day in yellow, and then I highlight the Sabbath in blue. Okay. Light blue, so that it can easily be seen. The rest of this is just filling it in. Okay, there we have it. Now we need to go back to Stellarium, and we need to go to the end of the month and determine whether or not this month has 29 or 30 days by finding the next new moon day. Okay, so we'll go back to Stellarium. We'll go up to 2. Okay, 20. We'll go back to about the 24th. Okay, we'll look at the luminosity of the moon. It's illuminated at 90.5%. So we'll go up a day. It's 95.8, 99, 99.8, and it's the waning gibbous. So apparently, let's see. Let's move back by hours. Okay, it's full moon. It's full moon on the night of the 27th. Okay, full moon on the night of the 27th, making the next day the new moon day. That would be the 28th would be the new moon day. So we will go and see if at the sunset the moon meets the sun. Oh, that's not why. doing the wrong thing. I'm looking for the hours. 7th, full moon. Okay. We'll go back in time to see if the moon greets the sun on the horizon. And on the 26th, no, it's got to be the 27th. Okay, the 27th, and we have the waning gibbous, so it has been full the night before, and we've got all right, we've got a point where we have to use the atmosphere and the actual ground view. So let's continue. Okay, the moon is coming into view over the horizon, and the sun is still shining. It is not visible, but it's still relatively light outside. This is dusk, and we are in dusk, and there is a program that will tell you exactly what time dusk starts and what time dusk ends, when the sunset is and when the dusk ends. So we would use that to prove this, but for now, this is good enough that we have proven that the sun indeed greets the moon at sundown when the moon rises on the 27th. And now we go forward and see when the moon sets. There we already have the moon is here, and we already know that the sun is already going to greet the moon on the 28th. So the morning of the 28th is New Moon Day. Okay, and we can actually go back and take the ground off of this one and the atmosphere, and we can see that the moon and the sun are both above the horizon. And it is the waning gibbous. That means it's 98.1% now, but it became full the previous day, indicating this day would be the first day of the month. So that is in the Gregorian calendar, month 2 and day 28 of 2021. So let's go back to our calendar that we were doing earlier. Okay. And this would be New Moon Day. So that would be day 1. And that indicates that there are 30 days in the previous month, in the 11th month. And this would be the new moon day for the 12th month. And I will highlight that with yellow to make us uniform. And there you go. And of course, the day following would be, this is not leap year, so it would be no, sorry. I just said it's not leap year, and then I go ahead and make it leap year. 3/1/21. Okay. So it's the pagan day of 3/1 and 2021 in the Gregorian calendar. is the second day of Yahweh's 12th month. But here is the 11th month, and we are done, and now we can save it as the 11th month, which I have already done, so I don't need to save. All right, and there we go. Well, I hope and pray that you were able to follow along with me well, and I'm still shaky at this. I really take my time when I'm doing it on my own. I tried to do it faster, while I was showing you, so it wouldn't be so long and boring, but it is tedious at times, and you have to be careful because it's so easy to make a mistake, and you don't want to worship Yahweh on the wrong day if possible. It honors him when you take the time to number your days and find the right days that Yahweh has put it in the sky as a sign for you how to do that, and tells you in the scriptures how to do that. Now, it would have been easier for all of us if we were raised with Yahweh's calendar and our ancestors taught us how to number our days according to the scriptures. But it's not like that for most of us. We were not raised understanding the scriptures and understanding the Moedim, understanding the Sabbath. And we have been a part of a lie, a 7-day calendar that goes on weeks only and goes by the sun. So instead of the sun, moon, and the stars, they go by the sun only. And that's not scriptural. Hence, it's a pagan calendar. The Gregorian calendar is pagan. But we have that Gregorian calendar in place in our lives day after day, and everybody else goes by it. So we have to have an understanding of the Gregorian calendar, know what day it is in the Gregorian calendar, as well as serving Yahweh with all of our heart and knowing the true day and the true month that Yahweh has established before the beginning of time. Well, Shalom Kavarim, and now here's Alan.
I sing to Yahweh, for he is highly exalted. The horse and its rider he has thrown into the sea. Yah is my strength and song, and he has become my deliverance. He is my El, and I praise him, Elohim of my father, and I exalt him. Yahweh is a man of battle, Yahweh is his name. He has cast Pharaoh's chariots and his army into the sea, and his chosen officers are drowned in the sea of reeds. The depths covered them, they went down to the bottom like a stone. Your right hand, O Yahuwah, has become great in power. Your right hand, O Yahuwah, has crushed the enemy. And in the greatness of your excellence, you pulled down those who rose up against you. You sent forth your wrath. It consumed them like stubble, and with the wind of your nostrils, the waters were heaped up. The floods stood like a wall, the depths became stiff. in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I pursue, I overtake, I divide the spoil, my being is satisfied on them. I draw out my sword, my hand destroys them. You blew with your wind, the sea covered them, they sank like lead in the mighty waters. Who is like you, O Yahweh, among the mighty ones? Who is like you, great in Kodeshah, awesome in praises, working wonders? You stretched out your right hand, the earth swallowed them. In your kindness, you led the people whom you have redeemed. In your strength, you guided them to your Kodesh dwelling. Peoples heard, they trembled, anguish gripped the inhabitants of Pelasheth. Then the chiefs of Edom were troubled, the mighty men of Moab. Trembling grips them, all the inhabitants of Canaan melted. Fear and dread fell on them by the greatness of your arm. They are as silent as a stone. Until your people pass over, O Yahuwah. Until the people whom you have bought pass over. You bring them in and plant them in the mountain of your inheritance, in the place, O Yahuwah, which you have made for your own dwelling, the Mikdash, O Yahuwah, which your hands have prepared. Yahweh reigns forever and ever.